Welcome to Time to Press Pause, real life stories from the C-suite. I'm your host, Ellen Williams, and CEO of The Salient Strategist. And today we're speaking with Ruchi Pinniger. Ruchi is founder and CEO of Watch Her Prosper, an international speaker and a venture capital investor. She's dedicated to providing financial mentorship, support, and services that women-led service-based businesses need to succeed. Ruchi leverages her years of experience on Wall Street to provide expert advice on financial leadership, tax time readiness, and small business finances. She is dedicated to philanthropy, serving on the executive boards of Savvy Ladies and the Pajama Program. Recently named one of the women leading the financial industry and recognized with the Entrepreneur Community Leadership Award 2024, she is committed to helping entrepreneurs thrive and cherishes moments with her family exploring food and diverse cultures around the world. Welcome, Ruchi, to Time to Press Pause.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here with you, Ellen, and your listeners.
I'm so happy to have you here as well. You and I have known each other for many years, and we've gone back and forth on getting you scheduled. You're finally here, and I can't wait to hear your Press Pause story.
Thank you. I'm excited to share. So, my press pause story is really thinking back to when I was on Wall Street. I spent so many years in the corporate world doing all the beautiful things, building team, getting promoted, getting paid really well. And what I noticed was how I wasn't excited about what I was doing. And the things that really got me excited on a day-to-day basis in my corporate world were when I got to do things with other people. So whether it was being a mentor, whether it was being part of our women's network, whether it was something around the leadership committee, those were the things that really got me excited. So I just felt really lost for so many years. And I internally networked and was just trying to figure out, what do I want to do with my life? I even took a sabbatical. So I went out of my company for 3 months, and I was awesome. It was a great benefit I had, actually, and I got paid during that time. And I tried all these great things. I went and worked at a nonprofit. I took baking and cake decorating classes and floral decorating classes. And I thought, oh, what can I do with my life? How can I make impact? And what I did, I went right back into the corporate world and stayed there for many years. Finally, I left, and one of the best decisions I made was hiring a coach. I remember talking to her and feeling so lost and feeling like I needed to know what was next. I was that type of person. I was like sort of that, I'm a recovering control freak, right? So I always kind of want to know what's next, what's next. And I couldn't sit still because I was so used to all those years of going, going, going. She was a beautiful reminder of just pausing. And she said to me, look at this time as a gift and listen to the messages from the universe and see what comes. And that was exactly what I did. So I was out there, I was listening to all the messages. And what I kept hearing from so many women was, I started a business. I'm great at what I do and I love it, but I'm so bad with the numbers. It was all the stories. I'm so bad with the numbers. I have no time. I don't know how to do this. I thought to myself, there's something. There was a message that I was hearing that was so consistent and so loud. And one of my very dear friends at the time was one of those women. And I said to her, I can help you. I have this time and I have this experience. So let's just sit down and talk about what's going on. And it was beautiful because after 3 months of working with her, she started to say to me, I feel like I fell in love with my business again. And I feel like I'm not alone in it. I feel like I'm making more empowered decisions. It was really amazing to see the transition. I didn't even know that I had the skills that I had. And it was just a really cool experiment at the time. And what I did was got her more empowered around her numbers. We got to understand what she was making, what she was spending. We separated her business and personal finances. We raised her rates for the first time in many years and just got her feeling like she had a handle on things. And she started to tell all these amazing people about me. And one woman said, "Oh, I feel like I need a Ruchi in my life." And we had a consult, and she shared what was going on for her in her business and her finances. And what I said to her was, "I think I can help you." And she got tears in her eyes and she said, "I feel like an angel sent you." And that was my aha moment. That was what really precipitated starting this business, because all those years I felt empty and lost. Like, I knew I wanted to help people, but I had no idea how. And it was so cool to connect the dots of my experience and my love of helping people. Like, even as a kid, I wanted to be a therapist. A lot of our clients actually call me their financial therapist.
They're financial therapists. That's awesome. Don't we all need one of those?
We all need one of those. We all
Maybe
need one of
everyone
those.
needs a Rushi in their lives.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Oh, wow. So that was a great story. It sounds like you had two pauses, right? The sabbatical. And you talked about all the different things you did during that time. And you asked yourself, how can I make an impact? But then wound up right back where you started. So that was interesting that that didn't lead to anything new. But finally, when you realized going back wasn't really the answer, how many years forward that was. I like that you said you were listening for the message. Besides the people talking to you about not understanding numbers, how did you hear a message correlating that with being able to start a business?
I was pretty clear that I wanted to start a business. Even as a kid, I was very entrepreneurial. Like, I was that kid, with the lemonade stand or selling or making and selling jewelry. And my husband was really encouraging it because he saw that in me. And even in the corporate world, the role that I was in towards the end was a really beautiful entrepreneurial type of role, where I got to work with a lot of different businesses and help them start up. And I was really great at connecting people. And I may not have known everything about everything, but I knew enough about everything that I was able to help people navigate at a minimum. So I saw that skill, and I think it was just, I saw the need. There was a need. And I realized that just because you do something for so long, there's so many transferable skills that you have, and that's what I tell people too, is you don't have to be stuck doing what you're doing. You think about, what are all the things I'm really great at and what I'm really passionate about, and then marry the two, and that's how you find what you're meant to do. And that's exactly what I did.
I think that's a great approach that you look at your skills and you look at your passions and marry them together. So you said you had an aha moment, but you said that came after experimentation. What prompted you to start experimenting?
Well, just hearing those messages and knowing that I had a friend in need, that was easy enough for me, because at that time I wasn't working. I had left my company. And there's a whole story around that that I'm happy to share on another day. So I thought, I have this time and this friend of mine has the need. Let me just help her. And it was the biggest gift to me in the end, because it's what created this beautiful business 10 years later, how we get to help all of these women to really be more empowered around their numbers and providing financial guidance and bookkeeping. And the biggest part is the money mindset. That's what I love, is getting in their minds and helping them to reframe how they think and see things differently.
The money mindset and the
Yes.
financial therapists. You sounds like you're really digging deep. Are you then enabling your clients to have that moment of pressing pause and re-understanding their finances?
I see how you did that. I love it. I love it. Yes, actually, because so many of our clients come to us and they've been in business and they're making money, but they're not really knowing what's happening, and they're not able to make decisions based on information. To me, the numbers are information. Like, I can separate the emotion from it. So many of us have like a lot of emotions that come up around money. But for me, I am able to reframe that and say, the numbers are the data to help guide us to make a plan so that you can really live your most beautiful, prosperous life. And when they come to us, yeah, there is a really nice pause. We say, okay, let's figure out what are the numbers and let's work from there. So once they have that information, to me, that's a great way to think about it. It is a pause. It's a way for them to just stop and see, where are we at, and let's figure out what's the roadmap to the prosperous life I want to lead.
That's a lot of what I'm hearing from the interviews I've had. The pause really enables the reevaluation. And it sounds like everything you're saying, where the messages you were hearing and the need that you're filling has to start with the let's take a step back, especially the money mindset you were talking about. The one other thing I wanted to unpack from your whole story was that you're a recovering control freak.
Yes, yes,
So, how do you
yes.
recover from that?
Well, all the work I do around mindset actually relates to that. So, those of us that are control freaks, anybody who's listening, many of you in corporate especially, probably feel that. But think about what that does. When you are feeling like you need to control, that actually means you're not trusting. Not only are you not trusting yourself with being open and allowing others to help you, it's a message you're putting to the other person that you don't trust them. And that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing for all of us in a situation like that. When you are overly controlling as a leader, you're not allowing others around you to grow and to flourish and to prosper, to be their best self because you want to be in everything. I continually, the same way I work with my clients to work on their own mindset and their own belief system, I work on myself to do the same thing, to make it safe to ask for help, to make it safe to trust myself, to make it safe to trust others, to be open and allowing.
Open and allowing. That's a great approach.
What I tell people that I work with is it's not just saying, I will be open, I will be allowing, I will trust. It's actually feeling that in your body, feeling like you trust. Start to visualize yourself as a really trusting leader, as someone who's open, allowing. You're essentially letting go of control. So just feel that in your body, start to visualize it and see it. Your mind doesn't actually know the difference between reality and imagination. So you hear these studies with, say, baseball players where they're measuring their brain activity when they're hitting a home run, when they're actually in the stadium, the crowd is roaring, the wind is running against their arms as they're running the bases, and then they hit home plate. That brain activity being measured on somebody doing the same thing, but in their mind only, just imagining it, it's the same brain activity. So when you want to make a change, it's really important to do that visualization and what it feels like in your body to do the things you're saying you want to do.
Amazing. I love information about the brain. It's always been
I know.
fascinating to me. And I don't know if you realized it, but as you were saying, imagine this and feel it in your body, your eyes were closed. And I
I
think you were
do. I
actually
can't help
doing
myself.
exactly what you were saying.
I do. I try to practice what I preach. What can I say?
Well, you did it right there on camera. So perfect. The last question I have for you is what advice would you have for CEOs or leaders in general as to when they can identify it's time to press pause?
Mm. Well, the first thing that I think is really important is to understand how fear works and how your mind works. So, your mind is literally wired to keep you the same. It feels like safe is same, same is safe. So, I want just for you to know that information. When you're wanting to do something different, think about your comfort zone as a circle right in front of you. And when you want to grow and expand, and that could mean pressing pause, living in ease, taking time for yourself to journal or to do anything that's different, your mind is going to try and bring you back to the same. So just being aware that of that information when you're noticing that you have a desire to do something but you're not doing it, it's because your mind is trying to push you back. So noticing when that's happening and just doing it anyway and getting through the discomfort is then expanding your comfort zone to make the new you, the more empowered you, the new normal. So that's really, I think, important. The other thing is listening to your instincts. For me, I tried all these different things in the corporate world. I tried HR. Like I thought, oh, if I go to HR, I'll be happy. And I was miserable. I literally cried every day at my desk, staring at my computer in my office. It was horrible. And I ended up back in my old department. I just invite you all to listen to what you really need and don't be scared because there is something bigger for you out there. There is. I promise you, if you're feeling that little niggle and you're feeling that instinct, take the time to think about what it is you love, what brings you joy, and think about what skills you have and how you can really, as we talked about earlier, marry those two into something. And you might not know the answer. So I give you the same advice that my amazing former coach gave me, which is listen to the messages from the universe and just be really open without judgment. Just watch and listen and notice and then go from there.
Watch and listen and notice. I think that's all about being present. It's great advice for anyone. I think it's especially good advice for leaders because we all have the opportunity to have impact on other people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the job of a leader is to impact other people. So allow them to watch you evolve as well, because that is what leadership is.
That is what leadership is. Ruchi, thank you so much for being here with me today on Time to Press Pause. I'm so glad that we were able to coordinate you coming on, and I love all the great advice and the wonderful story that you shared.
Thank you so much for having me. It was lovely to be here with you and lovely to be here with your listeners, and I had a great time.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Time to Press Pause. To learn more about Ruchi, visit watchherprosper.com. To learn more about me, go to thesalientstrategist.com. And please listen again wherever you listen to your podcasts.